Hi everyone, it's Singularity. So, I'm going to talk about some of my experiences with schizophrenia. Most notably my hallucinations and delusions that I've been having. The reason why I have these in like quotation marks is because I don't personally feel like these are hallucinations or delusions, but they have been described as that by my therapist and psychiatrist. So, yeah. So, anyway, sorry if I get kind of quiet or my thoughts are kind of all over the place. I just, yeah. So, um, so the first, I think it, when I was about, 16 years old was when it started. I was hearing just voices like calling my name or like saying like random things I couldn't understand and it didn't make any sense. And I wasn't too bothered by it at first, but then when I became like 18, they got a lot worse. I was put on antipsychotics when I was 17 years old because I did tell my doctor I was hearing voices, but they weren't saying anything dangerous at the time, so I was put on Risperdal. And if you guys want, I can leave make like a review or a video on antipsychotics I took. I took quite a few, so I can make like a video on different antipsychotics and like pros and cons and stuff. Anyway, so after that, I went to hospital and I got put on Risperdal. So when I turned 18, the voices got so much worse. They were really hard to manage, and I couldn't ignore them. And they started saying things like, kill your bunny, or kill your parents, or cut yourself, and kill yourself, and those sort of things. So I went to the hospital again, and there I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Sorry, I'm on PC chat. There I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and so yeah, and at that point I was still on Risperdal, but it was giving me like it was making me like lactate, and then I was like leaking through shirts and stuff. So then I ended up switching to another med called Invega, and yeah, and once at first I was fine on Invega. Oh, but okay, so here's the reason why I went on Risperdal. I was having a delusion where I thought that if I killed myself, my soul would go up to this special star called Sirius, and that was where like this unknown deity was like waiting for me. And in order for me to save like the world, I had to kill myself and go onto this star. So that was why I was put on Risperdal. It wasn't just because of the voices. And yeah, so anyway, that was like my first real break, like psychotic break. And then after that, I had a time, I think I was 18. That was when I was first diagnosed with schizophrenia. Because I think at first I was just diagnosed with like psychosis NOS. Then I got diagnosed with schizophrenia at 18 when I went to the hospital because the voices were telling me I had to kill my parents and kill my bunny and kill myself. And I don't think I had any like delusions at that time. It was just mostly the voices and such. So yeah, then I got switched to Invega. Anyway, I was doing pretty good for a year or two after that. I was taking a low dose of Invega and still managing. And then in 2015, I was like 20, I think. yeah, I was 20 years old, and I started getting these weird thoughts, like someone was after me. I thought like someone was trying to find me and track me. I thought people had put bugs in my phone and were listening to all my conversations. I was receiving messages from like music and radio, and I thought that I was being followed and that people were like reading my thoughts. And so I got to this point where I felt like I had to kill myself in order to get rid of all these things. And I was deciphering messages, and it was like a really big deal, so I was cutting and everything. And then I ended up in the hospital again, and I ended up switching. I didn't switch completely, but I ended up getting on the highest maximum dose of Invega, plus another antipsychotic called Stelzine. So I was taking 2 antipsychotics plus a third one as needed, which was Zyprexa. So I was taking all these meds, and I was doing pretty good for a while. Then in December of that year, like right around Christmas time, I started hearing the voices, and they were a lot louder, and then the same thoughts kept coming up over and over again, to the point where I was just so distraught. And then I got this delusion where I thought I had to burn down my house because it was full of evil spirits. And I was trying to warn my parents that they needed to get out of the house before I burned it. Otherwise, they were going to just have to get burned. So I attempted to burn down the house, and they brought me to the hospital. Actually, I think my mom called the police, and I ended up getting brought to the hospital. So there I was switched to just straight Stelzine, and yeah, so yeah, and then I recently, like within this year, started hearing the voices again. I mean, I've been hearing them constantly, but usually they're loud and they just talk over each other, and I can't understand what they say anyway. But lately they've been pretty loud, and I can understand what they're saying. And they told me they were going to kill my mom, because my mom was in a car accident where we were walking and a car hit her while we were walking. The driver was texting, so I thought that was a sign that meant that my mom was supposed to die. So yeah, like I thought that the voices were actually trying to kill her. So and then I work currently. I just work part-time, very super part-time, and I was working lots of hours, so I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, and it was just too much, the working, and then my mom being sick from the accident and not being able to walk or drive or do anything. And then all that piled on together just gave me this break, and ended up in hospital again. And because I tried to kill myself, so I ended up in hospital again. And there I was put on Geodon plus a higher dose of Stelzine plus the Zyprexa as needed. So yeah, so right now I currently take Zyprexa. Oh no, I don't take Zyprexa. I currently take Stelzine, Geodon, and Trazodone for sleep. So yeah, that's kind of my experience with psychosis. This is also my first video, so yeah, I think this is the first one I'm going to upload. I've recorded several other videos, but I may not upload those for a while unless I feel like I'm ready to upload them. But yeah, so that's my experience with psychosis.